Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what did and didn't work in my Greenstalk planters. I have the 5-tier original and also the 7-tier leaf planter. Let's begin with the first level of the 5-tier original. This level has a combination of black beans and affirmed green beans. For bush varieties, you can plant up to 3. Starting off with the green beans, my green beans did not do well, and I only planted 2 in each. You can see here that they are far too close. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. Maybe they got too much water and the seed floated to the middle, and because of this, unfortunately, it did affect their production. I don't see how it's feasible to put 3 bush varieties. I put 2 and even that was too close. My black beans have done even worse. There are only 5 pods on this plant and I do not see any more flowers. Again, I'm not sure how much water played a factor into this. The pods do seem sturdy and healthy though. I've also never grown black beans of any variety, so maybe this is just how they produce. For the black beans, I did put 2 seeds in each planting hole, and here you can see that this is just 2 seeds that germinated in one. I'll definitely try to grow beans again. I think maybe if you put 1 on each side, that would definitely work because that's about 6 inches apart. This is the one that convinces me it was a water issue because this one is alone and I didn't get a bountiful harvest out of this one either. For the second tier, I did 1 red bell pepper, 3 sections of onion, 1 in each. I also did 2 sections of radishes, 3 in each, and also 1 kale. The radishes I harvested about 30 days after, but I didn't do a second succession. For the onions, they have really struggled due to insufficient sunlight. I really regret not getting their ultimate spinner wheel kit. That wasn't something that was advertised as an absolute need, so I didn't get it. But now, having grown stuff and seeing how the sun works in my area, I definitely wish that I would have gotten it. Here you can see this onion that is getting more sunlight is doing much better. With all of that said, I think that onions really work here and I'll be doing it again. Bell peppers is another one that I would definitely try to do again, although I would want to do it for my own seed starts. I haven't had much luck with bell peppers in the past, but here they seem to be really enjoying it. Kale is another one that I think would work really well. Mine is a bit behind because again, the sunlight, but overall it's doing pretty well and I have harvested from this already. Of course there are some leaf damage, but that just comes with organic gardening. Next is the cucumber and also the lettuce. Cucumber was a huge fail for me. I'm not sure if it's due to the fact that I got a plant start or because it didn't get sufficient sunlight or even too much water. You can see here just how disease-ridden this cucumber actually is. I have not harvested a single cucumber from this one. This one is slightly better, but even this one has only given me 2 cucumbers. I wouldn't recommend planting anything that vines out in the Greenstalk planters. I know that it's advertised that you can, and maybe if I was doing this in a cemented area it would do better, but if you're in a grassy area I just wouldn't recommend. The lettuce has done so well for me, especially on the shady side. It allows it to not bolt as quickly. I have harvested a numerous amount of times and it continues to produce. I only planted little gem varieties, although this one, since it's bolted, it gives a more romaine style. This basil was originally planted at the very bottom. It got broken, so I put the stem in some water and replanted it, and ever since it's been thriving. The little stem had been no bigger than this one right here. Doing this has taught me that basil propagates very well. So if you only have the money for one start, I would take those cuttings and propagate them. Next up, I did Swiss chard and also an array of rainbow carrots. Most of my carrots did not germinate, but that is due to user error. Had I kept them moist, I think that they would have done perfectly fine here. Swiss chard is another one that really loved being here. It also benefited me because I didn't really want to grow too many. Last year I grew way too much for my family to consume, but with this limited amount, I've already been able to harvest so much. I think one of the best things about these Greenstalk planters is the amount that you're able to grow. You're able to expand your production on a small scale. Since I had an extra lettuce star, I decided to pop it in here in this empty space, and it's doing really well, even in full sun. This yellow carrot proves that carrots do really well here, and it's something that I'll definitely try to do again next year. And for the very last tier, I did 3 squashes, 2 mini cherry tomatoes, and 1 basil. Squash was another huge fail for me, which was very disappointing. I like to grow squash for their flowers and not their fruit, and I did not get either. Again, I would not plant anything that vines. I'm not sure if me being on a grass foundation really affected them. Either way, I just would not do this again. You can see just how unhealthy they actually are. On some of these plants, I didn't see flower or fruit. I found this plant caddy at Lowe's for $30, so if you can't afford their spinner wheel kit, maybe look into getting one of these. These cherry tomatoes did relatively well. They were shaded out because of the squash, so I wouldn't recommend doing squash and tomatoes together, but I would do cherry tomatoes again. For them being shaded out, I still got a pretty good harvest. This cucumber was originally at a higher level, and I thought maybe that was an issue and that's why I wasn't producing, so I put it down here in place of the basil, but it still did not give anything. Now time to move on to the leaf tier. The first level is a combination of cilantro and parsley. The parsley has done really well. I've already got a good harvest and it's continuing to produce. The cilantro also did really well. It has flowered already, but I'm going to let it be to encourage pollinators to come. I have many empty spaces in this leaf tier planter because some of the strawberry roots rotted and some of the seeds never germinated. Although many of my seeds didn't germinate, I think that this is a perfect herb planter, and I would definitely try to do it again, but I would do it with starts. My rosemary cuttings did take, but they haven't grown full size. But again, I would definitely try to do rosemary again, much like all of these other herbs. The sage has also really loved being here. This one surprised me because I thought the seed was going to be much more sensitive and harder to germinate. The strawberries rotting had nothing to do with the planter itself, so I would definitely recommend to do strawberries in these planters. I would even do an entire one of just strawberries. With mint, as always, you want to be careful that it doesn't take everything over. This one is starting to take over the one next to it, but I have no problem with that because I really enjoy mint. If that's not something that you want to worry about, then I would just steer clear of planting mint. This purple basil I saw was struggling in a different section, so I moved it over to get more sunlight. So even with herbs, the spinner is quite important. chamomile really loved being here. It did stretch, however, so I would try to keep it tame and cut it down. If you let things stretch, that's what causes unnecessary shade for the other plants, so just be wary of that. In my next video, I'll be showing you guys what I plant in my empty spaces, so please consider subscribing if you'd like to watch that video.